Hey guys, so today I want to show you a contouring tutorial and talk about the products that I like to use to contour as well as the tools that I use. I already have my contour on at this point. It's pretty subtle, so it doesn't look, it doesn't translate to camera that well, but it's really great for an everyday look, and it makes you, you don't want to make it too intense where you're looking like Kim Kardashian every day, because her makeup look, while it's very pretty, is not realistic for everyday use. First, I want to talk a little bit about the products that I like to use. The product that I like to use the most in the summer is by Too Faced, and it is this Chocolate Soleil Medium Matte Bronzer. It's marketed as a bronzer, but because it's matte, it's really not too bad for a contour product. It is a little bit warm, so this is great for those of you who have warmer tones and undertones in your skin. I like to use it in the summer just because I feel like it adds a little more color to my face, and it doesn't look like a huge stark contrast as compared to when I use it in the winter, which looks ridiculous. I'm in the process of moving, so I don't have all my contour products with me, but another one I like to use in the winter or in the fall is by Obsessive Compulsive Cosmetics. It's called John Doe, and it is a cream product that comes in a very small container, maybe this big, and it's great because it's blendable, it mimics a shadow, which is the goal of your contour products, and it's just a very subtle color. Another one I like to use is NYX. It's a blush, technically, but it's called Taupe, and you can find it at Ulta. Really pretty cheap. It's about $5, and that's another great cool toned contour, so I recommend that one. And then another one that I just bought is by Pumpkin and Poppy, which is an indie company online, and then it's called Oak Bark, and it's a loose powder, so this isn't really recommended for beginners, I would say, but it's also this taupe color, kind of similar to NYX, but it's better at mimicking a shadow, so if you're willing to put in the effort to apply it, the results will be a great payoff. So those are the products that I like to use for contouring. You can just use a normal blush, and then for highlighter, there are several that I like. One is the Mary Luminizer, and this is by The Balm, which is great. It looks like this. It's kind of shimmering here, but it's more of a beigey highlighter, and it's pretty shimmery. So just keep that in mind if you're interested in that. And then another one, which is the bottle's kind of dirty right now, but it's Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in Pearl. And this is a great liquid one, and it will last you forever because you really only need a tiny little bit. So that's another great one. And then the other powder that I am using today is Incandescent Light in this Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder Palette. So that is another great one. I also want to talk a little bit about the tools that I use to apply contour. You want to apply the contour initially, you can use a denser brush, for example, this Real Techniques Expert Face Brush. And you can use that to apply the initial contour, around your face, but you really want something that's a little fluffier for blending, because blending is pretty much the key as far as technique goes with contouring. So I also like to use this contour brush by Real Techniques. It's pretty small, so it's really good for getting that specific placement on your face, which is another important technique. And then just to blend things out in general, I like to use a small fluffy brush like this one by EcoTools. I've had this forever. I don't even really know the name of it, but it's just any kind of fluffy small brush will do, just to blend it out and blend it with your blush and the rest of your makeup. So with that being said, let's get started with the tutorial. I'm going to start by talking about where I'm going to contour. So I have my hair pulled back so you can see my face structure pretty well. I like to contour right here on my forehead because my forehead's kind of disproportionate. to the rest of my face. So I like to contour it so it looks like my hairline's almost slightly lower. It just creates more of an angle here. So I like to do that, and I like to do the sides of my face a little bit, because basically contour, the intent is to de-emphasize parts of your face and emphasize basically the high points of your face, and highlighter helps with that as well. And then I like to do under my chin and then on my jawline, and then I also like to do beneath my cheekbones to highlight my cheekbones, and then sometimes I also like to do down the bridge of my nose just to make it look a little more narrow. Okay, so let's get started with contouring. To lay down the initial line, I'm going to start by using the Expert Face Brush. You really only want to pat it into the product. It's super pigmented. So I want to start up here, pull my lips over to the side to expose my cheekbone. And you can kind of see that product right there, and that's not how it's going to be, because that's not blended out at all and it just looks like a stripe on my face. But that's how I'm going to leave it initially. You don't want to come all the way down towards your lips, because that's not really how far the shadow would go. So I'm just going to lay these lines down initially. Okay, so then after that, I'm going to take my fluffy brush, dab it a little bit in the product, and then just make small blending motions. If the product isn't blending into your face, you can just use a face colored powder, like some kind of loose powder or just a pressed powder, and dip your brush into that, and then it should blend more easily. Make sure you bring it down into your neck for sure, because you don't want to make a really distinct line where your face and neck meet. Alright, so it's settled at this point. I'm also going to do down the bridge of my nose a little bit. And this fluffy brush blends it well enough. So it's pretty subtle, but it just emphasizes your cheekbone slightly more, and it just adds a little bit of color to your face as well. Now I'm going to finish that up with a little bit of blush and highlight. So I'm just going to take my Sephora Cream Contour Blush in Poppy Pink, and I'm going to put that at the high points of my cheekbone and blend it downwards and forwards. A little too much blush there. Alright, and then I'm going to finish off with a little bit of highlight. So in order to highlight, I'm going to use another Real Techniques brush. It is a setting brush. You can use this for powder to like set under your eyes or whatever. And then from the Hourglass Ambient Lighting palette, I'm going to use the Center Highlight color. It's Incandescent Light. This is a great palette. They only offered it for a little limited time at first, but now it's back in stores. I just saw it at Sephora the other day, so this is a great value. I think it's like $58, and these powders are excellent, so I highly recommend that. So I'm just putting a little bit on my brush, and then I'm just going to put it on my cheekbones, the high points of my cheekbones. This one's pretty subtle. I like to use the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in Pearl as well, but that one requires a little bit more skill because you have to make sure you place it well or you're going to be a shimmering mess. So then I put it down the center of my nose, just down the bridge of my nose, and then I'll also put a little bit on my chin here, and then a little bit on my forehead. And then you can also put a little bit in the corner of your eyes and also under your eyebrow arch, just to highlight those high points. So basically any high points of your face, here, 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 you wanna, and here, you want to focus on emphasizing. So that's just a really light contour. It's a little more apparent in person, but you want to do something subtle for everyday look and for an everyday look, and that's what I like to do. So if you have any questions about specific techniques or anything like that, just let me know. Thanks for watching.